Good evening. Welcome to South Asia Newsline. I am Arjun Chaudhary. Here are the top stories we're tracking for you on Monday, the 30th of November. Indian Prime Minister urges world to tackle climate change with urgency. Indian security forces burst Pakistan's espionage, arrest 5. And Afghan president set to meet Pakistan Prime Minister during climate summit in Paris. And now for all the details. Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi, who arrived in Paris on Monday, held bilateral talks with French President Francois Hollande on the sidelines of the United Nations climate change talks. More than 150 heads of state are participating in the summit, at which a legally binding universal agreement to curb greenhouse gas emissions among nations is expected to be achieved.
World leaders came together to deliberate upon ways to slow down global warming at the United Nations climate change talks in French capital Paris. Earlier in the day, French President Hollande welcomed Prime Minister Narendra Modi at the summit venue. While inaugurating the India Pavilion, PM Modi urged the world leaders to act with urgency in dealing with climate situations.
Climate change is a major global challenge, but climate change is not of our making. It is the result of a global warming that came from the prosperity and progress of an industrial age powered by fossil fuel. But we in India face its consequences today. We see it in the risk of our farmers, the changes in weather patterns, and the intensity of natural disasters. We are concerned about the rising oceans. We want a comprehensive, equitable, and durable agreement which must lead us to restore the balance between humanity and nature.
India has already pledged to ramp up its renewable energy target from 20,000 megawatts to 100,000 megawatts by 2022. This means that India wants to harness 40% of its energy from non-fossil fuels by 2030, and if the target is achieved, then the country will become one of the largest green energy producers in the world. Prime Minister Modi will also be launching the Global Solar Alliance, a group of over 100 solar-rich nations which is aimed at bringing clean and affordable solar energy within the reach of all.
Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi on Monday met Pakistan Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif in Paris. This comes at a time when tension between the two countries has been escalating over disturbances along the line of control, or the LOC. The leaders are in Paris to attend the crucial climate change conference, at which a legally binding universal agreement to curb greenhouse gas emissions among nations is expected to be achieved. The Indian security forces have busted Pakistan's spying racket in the country. An ISI agent and Indian security personnel were arrested for espionage and sharing information of India's national security with Pakistan. Here's a report.
Kaifetullah Khan, alias Master Raja, and Border Security Force Head Constable Abdul Rashid were produced in a court in New Delhi on Monday and were sent to police remand. Khan is a resident of Rajouri district of India's northern province of Jammu and Kashmir, while Rashid was posted with BSF intelligence wing in the same district. Khan, who is a handler of Pakistani intelligence operatives, was apprehended by a team of Delhi Police's crime branch in capital's railway station last week. Documents having implications on India's security were also recovered from his possession. During the interrogation, Khan revealed that he came in contact with Inter-Services Intelligence or ISI agents during his visit to Pakistan in 2013. In lieu of monetary benefit, he agreed to provide secret information about the defense forces. Rashid was one of the main sources of information for Khan.
जब गाड़ी दिल्ली पहुंची थी तो हमने उसको इंटरसेप्ट किया था यहाँ पे और बाद में डिटेन करके इंट्रोगेशन करने के बाद उसको अरेस्ट किया था। 7 दिन का उसका पुलिस कस्टडी रिमांड लिया था। उसी दौरान हमारी टीम उसको वापस रजौरी गई थी, वहाँ पे उसकी सर्च वगैरह की गई जिसमें इंक्रिमिनेटिंग डॉक्यूमेंट्स वगैरह मिले और साथ में जो उसका एसोसिएट था अब्दुल रशीद जो बीएसएफ में काम करता है उसको भी हमने गिरफ्तार कर लिया जो कि इसकी मदद कर रहा था।
The duo have been arrested under 3/9 Official Secrets Act under the Indian Penal Code. This comes at a time when the Special Task Forces of India's Eastern Bengal also arrested 3 people over the weekend for allegedly spying for Pakistan. Fake Indian currency notes and several incriminating documents have also been seized from them.
Public sector employees in Pakistan-administered Kashmir are fed up with the apathy of officials and they say that nobody in Pakistan cares about them. The employees recently held a sit-in at assembly premises against the government for turning down their rightful demands.
The Secretariat employees of the Pakistan-administered Kashmir say they do not get any benefit for their services from the government. They say even after a recommendation by the Revenue Committee of upgrading the services of Class 4 employees, the Revenue Secretary, who is appointed by Pakistan in the region, is ignoring their pleas.
तो माली बोरान है तो ये 95 लाख रुपया जो खर्च करके ये जो दौरे पे जा रहे हैं ये किस काम सेक्रेटरी मालियत का क्या काम है कि सेक्रेटरी मालियत 95 लाख रुपया लेके तो दौरे पे जा रहा है, दौरे पे उसका क्या काम है? क्या ये बोरान नहीं है? अगर ये पैसा है तो ये जो जल्दा जदगान के उनके लिए देना। हम ये कहते हैं कि जो पैसा हमारा है वो हमें दिया जाए और जो हमारी अपडेशन का मामला है ये बिल्कुल लीगल मामला है। इससे सेक्रेटरी मालियत से कहने से इनकार मान के सब कुछ करके फिर आप चिट्ठी लिखते हैं आज हमारे आपके मामला तो हमें मंजूर नहीं है क्योंकि ये मामला डिस्कस नहीं हुआ। अगर डिस्कस नहीं हुआ तो वो फिर चैलेंज कर रहा है अपने मिनिस्टरों के और हमारे चेयरमैन स्पीकर के उसको सन को चैलेंज कर रहा है कि ये जाली हैं। तो फिर ये इसके खिलाफ फिर हम एहतजाज पे इसलिए
The employees vowed to continue their protest until the government listens into their demand, as it had been postponing the upgradation for a long time now.
मसाइल और मुतालबात ये हैं कि जो हमारी मलियाती कमेटी है जो कानून आइन की रूह से मनोआन जो उसके वाज़ेह फैसले हैं उन पर अमल दरामद के लिए जो वो है हमारे एहतजाज है और हमारे ये को मुतालबात ये नहीं है कि जो माने जाने से ताल्लुक़ रखते हैं, हमारे इंडोज नोटिफिकेशन के इंडोज तक ताल्लुक़ रखते हैं और ये फौरी तौर पर माने जाने चाहिए। हमारे अपग्रेडेशन जो क्लैरिकल अपग्रेडेशन है मावनीन की है वो 29 आदमी है जिनके 20,000 रुपये मंथली खर्चा बनता है। तो हम ये चाहते हैं कि 20,000 रुपये मंथली अखराजात के लिए जो फैसले मलियाती कमेटी जो कानून की रूह से बाख्तियार है उसके फैसले माने जाने चाहिए और तो वो मनाने तक हमारे एहतजाज जारी और सारी रहे।
People of Pakistan-administered Kashmir say that despite having a government appointed by the people, it is the Pakistani bureaucrats who lay down the law for the region.
Afghanistan President Ashraf Ghani and Pakistan Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif are likely to hold talks on the sidelines of the UN Climate Change Conference in Paris. The meet will be considered to be an icebreaker after formal diplomacy failed to break the deadlock between the two countries.
Afghanistan President Ashraf Ghani has accepted the invitation of Pakistan's Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif to hold talks during their current visit to Paris. The decision came after a delegation of Pakistani Pakhtun leaders who recently visited Kabul persuaded President Ghani to accept the invitation to meet PM Sharif. The ties between the two nations had soared after Afghanistan blamed Pakistan of sheltering Taliban leaders on their soil. The two sides are expected to discuss ways to ease bilateral tensions and jointly work for the resumption of stalled peace talks between the Afghan government and Taliban. Pakistan had hosted the first peace talks between the Afghan government and the Taliban early this year. But a spike in Taliban-led violence after the confirmation of the death of their long-time leader Mullah Omar had stalled the peace process later. Afghan President Ashraf Ghani had said it doesn't want Pakistan to host any more peace talks for them until it reins in the Taliban, who are said to be operating from Pakistan.
Nepal cable TV operators were forced to take Indian channels off air in protest against the unofficial blockade of goods into the country. Nepal's ethnic Madhesi community has blocked key trade posts at the Indo-Nepal border ever since Kathmandu adopted a new constitution in September.
Nepal cable operators say they were forced to block Indian channels in the country as a political outfit was threatening them. Indian news channels were taken off air in Nepal on Sunday in protest against an unofficial blockade of goods into the landlocked nation.
We got a letter from the Nepal Communist Party, Maoist, Biplab, that we should switch off all the Hindi or Indian channels. And we had a meeting at the Federation of Nepal Cable Television. And lots of our members are being threatened, especially in the districts, that if we don't switch off the channels, then they can do anything.
Members of Nepal's minority Madhes community have blocked trucks from neighbouring India for months to protest against the newly adopted constitution by the Nepal government. They say the 7-province model of the new constitution discriminates against them. Nepal's government has blamed India for supporting the Indian origin Madhesi protesters, a charge that India has strongly denied. Earlier, expressing concern over growing anti-India sentiment in Nepal, Indian ambassador to Nepal Ranjit Rai had suspected that there is a section which was encouraging anti-India sentiment as it helps them in some way. India has also noted that there is a sense of grievances in certain part of Nepal that needs to be addressed. Several rounds of negotiations between the government and the protesters have failed as no agreement could be reached on reshaping the newly created federal states.
In India, where the growing economy hinges on resources and people, the stress just gets better of employees at times. And now, in an effort to bust that stress, the government is planning to bring in gyms into more and more offices and promote adventure sports.
26-year-old Nipun left the comforts of his New Delhi home for a taste of adventure in Rishikesh, in the snowy Himalayas in North India. He is one of a small but growing number of travellers that want to try a different type of experience.
I think everybody should get into adventure sports. We are totally technology dependent right now. I think we should move away from our phones and computers and actually get back into the nature and have some fun.
And it's Prime Minister Narendra Modi's government which has inspired many like Nipun to move out of their armchairs to try something different. After making them stretch and meditate on World Yoga Day in June, the government is now considering promoting activities like mountaineering and rappelling, a move that could increase the pulse rate of the adventure travel and extreme sport industries.
पर्यटकों की उपस्थिति और निवेशकों का जोश देखकर ये लगता है कि एडवेंचर स्पोर्ट्स आने वाले समय में पर्यटन की दृष्टि से हमारा भविष्य है और आदरणीय प्रधानमंत्री जी के इस सपने को सम्मान देते हुए भारत सरकार भी संकल्पबद्ध है प्रदेश सरकार के साथ मिलकर खासतौर पर इस टिहरी जगह को एक एडवेंचर स्पोर्ट्स के लिए एक बहुत रमणीक और सुरक्षित स्थल हम डेवलप करने का प्रयास करें.
But adventure tourism remains a relatively small market in India compared to the West. According to a survey by a trade body, the global market is pegged at $89 billion, while in India it's estimated to be under $75 million. But with India's overall tourism sector set to grow at an average annual rate of 7.9% till 2023, there is plenty of potential to expand what is currently a niche part of the industry. And that's where observers believe the government could play a pivotal role.
The sector is basically neglected because there's not more of a support. People have, in India, it's just about 3% of the entire population that really knows what adventure sports can do and can bring a reform in their daily lives. A lot of promotional activities, not only just at the state government level, but even at the central government level should be done.
The adventure travel industry might be minuscule, but analysts believe it's on an upswing. And the growth in the tourism sector has the potential to take the extreme sports to dizzy heights.
Well, that's the way it was in South Asia this evening. Before we conclude, the top stories once again. Indian Prime Minister urges world to tackle climate change with urgency. Indian security forces bust Pakistan's espionage, arrest 5. Afghan president set to meet Pakistan Prime Minister during climate summit in Paris. Now our viewers can watch the show on SouthAsiaNewsline.com. You can also visit us on Facebook.com/SAsiaNewsline and follow us on Twitter @SAsiaNewsline. That's all in tonight's edition. We'll see you same time tomorrow. Good night.